So now we have the sequel, Night Striker's Gear. Is it better than the original? Is it more fun? Let's get into it. So first and foremost, when we talk about the graphics look really, really good. I like it a lot. It does look like it uses some pre-rendered assets. I have noticed that the Intergrade, the car that you use, it does look a little cheap. I mean, it definitely just looks like a sprite pretty much. So it's not in 3D. It's totally like pre-rendered, but I mean, it's okay. I'm not tripping too much off that. The stages and environments look really, really good now. I really, really like how they look. And the game has pretty good performance, to me at least. I mean, maybe because a lot of the assets are pre-rendered or whatever. It feels good. I haven't had any kind of weird hiccups or anything like that. Visibility with the smoke effects, it makes dodging things or seeing things a little bit difficult. So I wish they can like tone down on the smoke effects. All right, now let's go into the sound. So I don't think it's as good as 1989 Night Striker. I mean, it was a different time, you know, but I think it's good in its own right. It just doesn't have any songs that sort of like stick into my mind or in my head like original Night Striker. But I mean, it does the job. I mean, it's pretty dramatic sounding, and it does fit the atmosphere of the game pretty well. And the sound effects, I have no issue or problem with the sound effects at all. They sound great to me. Really nice fidelity and quality, and explosion sounds are just like nice and thick. I think they're pretty good. We can talk about the story briefly. It seems like the story, it takes place in the Middle East in the future, and there's like a new theme park that has robots and uses AI. And the AI and robots, they turn rogue during the pre-launch of the theme park. It kind of reminds me of that one Three Ninjas movie that takes place in the theme park. I think it's called Three Ninjas High Noon at Mega Mountain. So instead of adults taking over the theme park, someone corrupts the AI and robots, and you gotta stop it. All right, so let's get into the gameplay. I've been having a lot of fun with this game. So one of the main differences is that now we have a gear meter, and what it does is that when you have enough meter, you can transform into this like mech thing, and then when you shoot, it uses the meter, and you get more gear by destroying enemies and grabbing gear panels that's like littered throughout the stage. There is less stages, I noticed, and it may turn some people off. And for me, I was like, what the hell? Why is there less stages? I mean, having all those stages in original, that's what made it special. But it feels that the stages are more dense. They're a lot more harder, and they seem a little longer too. So yeah, don't worry if you feel that the game is going to be just like shorter because of the less stages. It's almost the same playthrough time or duration as original Night Striker. And also the stages, they have mid bosses as well, so that's a pretty good dynamic. And one thing I do like is all the bosses and the mid bosses, the designs look really, really good, and they all have like their own like different attacks, and they all look great, and they're a lot of fun to fight. I would say my favorite is the desert stage, when you go inside the freaking rings and stuff, and then there's turrets on the inside, and you can shoot the turrets, and then the boss is at the edge of the rings and stuff. That's a very, very cool looking boss, because like I like how you can just go inside and then you back out and stuff. That's like really, really dope. I like it a lot. And also some bosses have certain attacks where they try to punch or melee you, and the game gives you some pretty good I would say clues on when and where they're going to hit you. And That's not in the original Night Striker, so I'm glad that they're taking advantage of the technology to give us some really really good boss fights. And as far as score bonuses, there's a bit more of ways to score. For example, there's points panels that are littered throughout the stage. Those are in yellow. There's wipeout bonuses and pacifist bonus with perfect wipeout and perfect pacifist bonus. So that means that you gotta like do 100% to get the perfect versions of those bonuses, and I haven't gotten to those yet. It's quite difficult. And also I like the fact that you can with enemy waves, there's like a captain that's in red, and you shoot the captain and it destroys the entire wave and you get a bonus. So that's really really cool. I really really like that. But overall, I just feel the game it's just much more harder. I feel it's way harder than an original Night Striker. It could be because a couple things. I mean, yeah, the game is a lot more intense. Maybe the bullets are a little bit faster, I think. And the bosses are a lot more intense to fight. And I think maybe the reason why it's so hard is I feel like maybe the main shot when you're in the Intergrade, the car, it feels really really weak sometimes. So I feel like I have to always go into gear to get some sort of damage. So I do feel like maybe that might need to be buffed. So there are two main modes when you start playing the game. There's normal and there's pacifist. Normal is just you're just shooting things and you get to the next stage. Pacifist, you can't shoot, so you have to just dodge everything. And that's actually one of the biggest sort of score bonuses that you get in an original Night Striker. I don't know how I feel about it too much in this particular game. I don't know. I might have to think about it. I do think it's cool, but I feel like pacifist in original Night Striker it just felt better. There is a hidden mode called B-side, and what it basically is you just play through all the stages of the game back to back, and there's some different enemy waves that you may encounter. And there are 3 difficulty levels. There's easy, standard, and hard. And I've tried easy. Even easy is difficult, to be honest with you, because yeah, the game is just much more intense. And they still give you a shield at the end of each stage, but they also have a shield duck that they throw in the middle of every stage. And once you shoot it and destroy it, you get an extra shield, which is really cool. But I will say they are very very hard to hit, and there have been times where I almost lost a shield trying to get a shield. So I don't know what they should do. I mean, I think maybe if they buff the main shot, it can be easier to kill. But I do think it's a decent challenge trying to hit that damn duck to get an extra shield. But yeah, the mid bosses are hard. The bosses can be hard. And stage G, which is the hidden stage, is very very hard. You unlock stage G by doing a wipeout bonus on any stage. Doesn't have to be perfect. I do feel that they should update the game with a balance patch. I mean, I think they should have an option to remove or tone down the smoke effects for better visibility, and increase the main shot power and keep gear the way it is. That's it. That's all that they need to do. You get the true 1cc by completing the 4 stages, with the 5th stage being G on 1 credit. I feel like another reason why the game is kind of difficult is there isn't any practice mode. There's no stage select where you can try to grind out a stage. That's a little disappointing. And there's also no replay feature. Like, where's the replay feature? Like, this is M2 shot triggers. I thought y'all like stuff like that. I thought y'all like giving people a lot of different tools for them to get better. But I'm assuming maybe because this is a original title, is not emulated, maybe they just couldn't put it in there. Maybe they may add it in the future. I would say, I'm gonna be honest with you, I don't think it's better than 1989 original Night Striker. Just something about the original game, just the vibe of the game, and it could just be because it's old. It's just it's something that I feel like Night Striker gear doesn't really touch upon too much. Like original Night Striker just had this like sort of like unsettling, serious vibe to it, and they try to tap into that a little bit in Night Striker gear, but it's much more stronger in original Night Striker. Despite how challenging the game is, I think it's very, very addicting. Very, very addicting. I'm thinking of different ways to go about certain stages, you know, to score better, different ways to survive better, because it is difficult. A lot of people, you know, they kind of feel that the perspective of the game makes it hard, and it does. You know, a lot of times you're going to have to just like go off of feeling in certain stages, or when you fight certain bosses. Sometimes your sight isn't going to help you too much. You're just going to have to like go against what you sort of see, and you know, do your best to survive. And like I said about original Night Striker, you're going to have to just memorize as much as you can. So do I recommend you buy Night Striker gear? I highly recommend it. I think it's a lot of fun. It's very challenging, very satisfying, and it's arcade to the core. Like it's a modern arcade game if you just really think about it. It's short, sweet, packs a punch, and it has some really good features as well. For example, there's online leaderboards, and there's achievements. There's a pretty good tutorial inside, and there's some pretty good options for you to change your buttons and screen display settings and stuff like that. And because of all the different modes in the game, it's going to keep you busy, so definitely give it a try. I highly recommend it. Let me know in the comments, what do you think about Night Striker gear? Are you having a lot of fun with it? Let me know how you're doing in the game so far. Do you feel the game is like difficult at all? Have you gotten any 1cc's at all? How are you doing on the leaderboards? Do you have any tips for any players that may have trouble with the game? Go ahead and pop it in the comments.